Welcome to the Financial Power Play, the podcast where hockey meets real life money talk. I'm Brett from Uptown Wealth Management, here to help hockey families and professionals create a financial game plan that works on and off the ice. From the rink to retirement, this is your go-to for real stories, smart strategies, and trusted advice. Let's drop the puck and dive in. Welcome back to the Financial Power Play. Today, we're talking about something that hits a nerve in the hockey community. Buying a house, crypto, and the simple path to building real financial freedom. If you're a hockey parent, you already know what it feels like to have big fixed costs. League fees, travel, hotels, equipment, ice time, plus the regular stuff. So the question is simple. How do you build wealth without feeling trapped? Here is the framework for today. 1. Buy freedom, not stuff. Avoid debt that steals your future cash flow. Live on less than you earn. Invest the surplus. And do not sabotage compounding by tinkering your panic selling. A house can be a great life choice. It is often a bad investment plan. Crypto can make you rich. It can also wreck your plan. It is speculation. So let's start with the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop thinking what you can buy. Most people think about money one way. What can I buy with it? That is normal. Our culture trains you to do that. Buying a new car, a big house, better kitchen, nicer vacations, more stuff for the kids. But money has a second job. It can work for you. It can earn. When your money earns, you start buying something most people never buy. Freedom. Freedom means options. Options means you stop living at the edge. You stop feeling like one bad month will break you. Hockey family gets this fast. You know what it feels like when the credit card bill shows up right after tournament season. You know the stress when the car needs repairs the same week your kid needs a new stick. Financial freedom does not mean you never work again. It means work becomes a choice, not a requirement. So your first goal is FU money. Without the drama, you have heard the idea of FU money. Forget the word. Keep the point. It means you have enough cash and investments that you can say no. No to a toxic job. No to bad business partner. No to stress buying. No to panic decisions. Here is the part most people miss. You do not need full freedom to benefit. The minute you build a cushion, you get stronger. If you have 3 months of expenses saved, you breathe differently. If you have 12 months saved, you negotiate differently. And if you have a growing investment account, you stop feeling trapped. This is the game. Build strength, then build more strength, then keep going. The simple path, it is boring. It works. Here's the simplest wealth plan that keeps showing up. Avoid debt, live on less than you earn, invest the surplus. That is it. No secret sauce, no magic trades, no guru course. Let's break it down in plain language. Avoiding debt. I mean the bad kind. Credit cards that carry balances, or car loans that stretch your budget. Lifestyle debt that keeps you on a treadmill. Debt is not just a number. Debt steals your future cash flow. It forces you to keep working for yesterday's spending. Live on less than you earn. This is not about deprivation. This is about control. Invest the surplus. Your surplus is the gap between you, what you earn, and what you spend. That gap is your freedom engine. Here's the comfortable truth. If your gap is zero, your plan is fragile. If your gap is negative, your plan is breaking. So the goal is simple. Create a gap, protect the gap, and invest the gap. So here's why high income people still feel broke. This part matters. In hockey circles, income can jump fast. Promotions, business wins, commission years, bonuses, big contracts, big signing years, and people think if I make more, the problem goes away. Sometimes it does, often it does not. I've seen people making strong incomes who are still broke. They have the house payment, 2 car payments, the private school, the cottage plan, the renovations, the keeping up spending. Big income create big pressure. You hang around others with big income. Everyone normalizes big spending. Suddenly, you have must-haves. The more must-haves you carry, the harder it is to build freedom. Your income matters. Your spending matters. Debt payoff, the simple strategy that is hard to do. If you're carrying debt, here's a clean approach. List your debts. Look at the interest rates. Pay the minimum on everything except the highest rate. Attack the highest rate with everything you can. When it is gone, move to the next. Why? Because paying off a high interest debt is a guaranteed return. If a credit card charges you 20%, paying it off is like earning 20%, guaranteed. No market risk. It is hard. It requires spending cuts. It requires discipline. But it gives you something powerful. Once you clear debt, you have built the exact discipline you need to invest. Same behavior, new destinations. All right. Stocks are volatile short term, reliable long term. Now investing. People ask, are stocks safe right now? The real question is, how soon do you need the money? Stocks are not safe for short time frames. They swing, they drop, they surprise you. If you need the money in a year, do not put it in stocks. If you need the money in 2 years, be careful. If you need the money in 10 or 20 years, stocks have historically been a strong engine for growth. Volatility is the price of admission. You do not get the long-term reward without living through the short-term noise. And here is where most people lose. They sell when the market drops. That is the worst move. Not because you're wrong, because you lock in the loss. The market drops. It always has. It always will. Your job is to stay invested. And now here's the biggest enemy, is tinkering. Let me say this clean. Most people do not underperform because they picked the wrong fund. They underperform because they cannot stop touching the plan. They tinker. They overtrade. They chase hot trends. They react to headlines. Compounding needs time and calm. Compounding hates constant interference. If you want a strong plan, do less. Automate contributions, own diversified investments, balance on a schedule, ignore the daily noise. Now let's talk about crypto. Why I call it speculation. People want a simple answer. Here it is. Crypto is speculation. That does not mean it cannot go up. It can. It has. Some people made life-changing money. But do not confuse a good outcome with a good decision. A risky bet can work. It is still a risky bet. The real question is not what it did in the last 10 years. The question is what it does next. If you buy crypto, treat it like speculation. Keep it small. Assume it can go to zero. Do not build your future on it. Do not skip your core. Investing plan to fund it. Most hockey families cannot afford to gamble with the basics. You need stability first, then optional risk. And now let's talk about buying a house. The part nobody budgets for, not the spicy topic. Buying a house versus renting. You have people say, my mortgage is the same as rent. That statement is incomplete. Mortgage is the starting point, not the full cost. Home ownership comes with variable expenses. Your roof, furnace, windows, plumbing, property taxes, insurance, repairs, renovations, landscaping, furniture, appliances, and the big one, opportunity costs. When you put a large down payment into a home, that money stops working in other places. It is tied up. It is illiquid. It is not always bad, but you must be honest about the trade-off. Also, most people buy the maximum house the bank will allow. That is the trap. The bank wants the biggest loan. The real estate market wants the biggest sale. That does not mean it is the best for you. If you stretch to buy, you become house poor. Your freedom engine slows down. Your investing slows down. Your stress goes up. A house can still be the right choice, but choose it for life reasons, not as your primary wealth plan. So houses are a lifestyle asset first. Here's the clean way to say it. A home is often an expense indulgence. That is not an insult. It is just accurate. You buy a home because it improves your life. It gives you stability, community, space, a sense of control, a better environment for your family. That matters a lot. But it's different than saying, my house is my retirement plan. That is where people get into trouble. If you buy a home you can easily afford, great. If you buy a home that forces you to stop investing, you just delayed your future. All right, let's talk about flexibility, the hidden value of renting. There is another angle, flexibility. If you are early in your career, flexibility is valuable. If opportunity shows up, you can move. If life changes, you can adapt. A mortgage can anchor you, financially, psychologically. It can make you feel guilty about leaving. It can make a career move feel impossible. Even when you sell, transactions cost, it's hard. There's realtor fees, legal costs, land transfer taxes, moving costs, time. Renting can be cheaper. Renting can be simpler, and renting can be strategic. Owning can also be great, but do not assume it is always the smarter financial choice. All right, let's talk about the 4% guideline. Simple math you should know. Let's talk financial independence math. This is a guideline, not a guarantee. The idea is simple. If you can withdraw about 4% a year from your invested portfolio, your money can potentially last a long time. So the fast math looks like this. Annual spending times 25. So let's look at an example. If you spend $100,000 a year, 100,000 times 25 equals 2.5 million. That does not mean you should retire the moment you hit that number. It gives you a checkpoint. It gives you a target. It gives you clarity. For hockey families, this is useful. You can model different spending levels. You can see how lifestyle choices change the number. Spend less, need less. Spend more, need more. Simple. Now let's talk about compounding. Why it feels slow, then it feels fast. Compounding plays a trick on your brain. Early on, nothing looks like it's happening. Then it starts to move. Then it accelerates. That is why people quit. They do not see progress fast enough. But the whole point is time. Time does the heavy lifting. Here's a simple example to make it real. If you invest $500 per month and earn 8% per year for 35 years, you can end up around $1 million. You only contributed about $210,000. Growth does the rest. You cannot shortcut time. You can only start early, or invest more, or both. All right, a practical game plan for your life and your hockey budget. Let's turn this into action. Step 1, build your base. Aim for an emergency fund. Start with 1 month of expenses, then 3, then 6. And step 2, kill high interest debt. Use the highest rate first strategy. Protect your cash flow. Step 3, create your surplus. Track spending for 30 days. Pick one category to cut and put that cut into automatic investing. Step 4, invest simply. Broad diversification, low cost, long time horizon. Step 5, stop tinkering. Review quarterly, not daily. Step 6, treat big purchases honestly. If you buy a house, run the full cost. Mortgage plus taxes plus maintenance plus repairs. Also include the down payment opportunity cost. Step 7, keep speculation optional. If you want crypto, keep it small. Do not fund it by skipping your core plan. All right, the last part, the hockey version of buy freedom. Here's the easiest way to frame this for your family. Your first line should be defense. Emergency fund, insurance basics, debt control. Your second line should be your offense. Automatic investing, consistent contributions. Your line is your special teams. Extra payments, lump sums, strategic moves. Most people try to score on every shift. They take wild risks. They forget defense. They get burned. Play the long game. Win the season. All right, now we're going to close it out with, if you take one thing from this episode, take this. Freedom is built with a surplus. Surplus comes from choices. Choices become habits. Habits create compounding. Avoid debt that traps you. Live on less than you earn. Invest in surplus. Then let time do its job. If you want help, pressure testing your plan, your mortgage decision, your debt payoff plan, or your investing setup, reach out. I'll help you get clear on the best move. Thanks for listening to the Financial Power Play. If this helped you, send it to a hockey parent who needs it. Thanks for tuning in to the Financial Power Play. If this episode sparked something for you, be sure to subscribe, share it with your hockey crew, and leave a review. Want to talk about building your own financial playbook? Visit uptownwealthmanagement.com to book a free consultation. Until next time, stay focused, stay flexible, and keep playing your game.